Welcome back to the Huddle YouTube channel. I'm your host, Owen, and today we're going to be going over my day one draft grades. However, instead of making one long extended video where you're going to have to sit there and sift through each team and try to find where your team is talked about so you can watch about 5 minutes of a 40-minute video, I'm going to make individual videos for each team that picked in the first round. Now, if you were a team that had multiple picks, I'm going to talk about you guys in one video together with all your picks in there. If you just have one pick, it's going to be a shorter one. I'm just going to give my thoughts on your guys' pick and what you should be doing going forward with the draft. So, with that out of the way, let's get started. So we have the Houston Texans here. They picked number 2 overall and then traded up with the Cardinals, going up from 12, which was the pick of the Cleveland Browns they received in the Deshaun Watson trade, up to 3, taking the place of the Cardinals. And they're going to select C.J. Stroud at number 2 and Will Anderson at number 3. Now, some people are going to criticize the amount they gave up to move back up to 3, because there was rumors that it was going to be C.J. Stroud at 2, it was going to be Will Anderson at 2, and then they were just going to pick whoever at 12, probably like Will Levis or Anthony Richardson, whoever slid. However, the Texans, I think, did a good job here of understanding that, okay, our division with the Titans and Colts being kind of in this zone of we don't know if they're going to be good or not this year. Colts probably not, Titans maybe, and the Jags kind of ascending. We need to start taking steps to no longer just keep being a constant rebuild. Well, the problem with those old Cleveland Browns teams was they just hoarded draft capital over and over and over again and kept thinking if we took enough draft picks and had enough draft picks, we'll be a good team. No, if you know there's a guy, so you have your guy in C.J. Stroud. You obviously are sold on him as your quarterback, which is good. I'm not the biggest C.J. Stroud fan, but I did have him as a first-round pick. And I think with the offense they want to run, which is going to be kind of that more Shanahan, moving laterally, getting guys the ball in open space kind of thing, I think C.J. Stroud can run that offense well. And if this is your guy, and you know he doesn't have to start right away. They have Davis Mills, who was a starter from last year. I probably think C.J. Stroud's going to be a starter, regardless, because I don't think Davis Mills was all that great last year. C.J. Stroud to be able to come in and run that offense to the point where they would like it. And I think that's a good decision. If you're number 2 overall and you like your guy, you think he's going to run your system, he's perfect for your system, take him. And then the part I was talking about before is that they identified that there's this really blue chip defender, best pass rusher we've seen since like Chase Young coming out of the draft. Like better than Aiden Hutchinson, better than Kevon Thibodeau. I think they recognized this and realized that he would fit great in our defensive system. We have some good DBs in safety, left from last year, Jalen Petrie. They have good players peppered out through that defense, and then adding some blue chip guys to that defense, and they already got their blue chip quarterback. They're really going to progress and maybe even take a bigger step next year than we really anticipate. So instead of sitting back and hoarding all that draft capital that they got from making trades and trading down and trading away their players and stuff like that, they're going to use that and move up. And they still have a ton of draft capital too, but they're also getting these guys who are rare. And they grabbed Will Anderson Jr., who's a rare pass rusher. There was always a conversation between the Texans even taking like a Tyree Wilson over Will Anderson. I think they're not even in the same ballpark. I think it's Will Anderson tier, Tyree Wilson tier. Like there's a tier between him and Tyree Wilson, and then Tyree Wilson above, the Van Nesses and the Murphys of the world. But at the same time, I think Will Anderson was the guy that you had to go with here. Second overall player on my board for me, just behind Jalen Carter, but Jalen Carter has those red flags. So you get your guy who's going to be perfect for your offense, and then you don't sit back on your heels and just accept that you're going to fill your roster out with rookies that may or may not be good. You're going to go up, use some of those picks. You still have like a 2/3 and 2/4 this year, I think, now because of this trade. And you're going to get a guy who's going to be absolutely dominant for you. So I'm not upset at that trade at all. I think it's a great trade. And even if you are upset about it, just imagine the picks are flipped. They grabbed Will Anderson at 2, then they sent that package to come up and pick a quarterback at 3. You are more willing to give up that amount of picks to come up and get a quarterback. So if that's really your issue, think of it that way, but I don't think it's an issue in the slightest, even for Will Anderson. So I'm going to give these both A-plus picks. I'm not the biggest C.J. Stroud fan, but I feel like he's going to fit their system the best, as well as the fact that just combining 2 picks together, if that was an A pick, Will Anderson's an A+. I'm just going to make them both A+s put together. One total grade for the 2 picks, and it's going to be an A+ draft class on day 1 for the Houston Texans.